Well, I know what I said, but there have been complications with starting my new YouTube channel. My PC is dead, amongst other things. And I've actually been playing Injustice 2 a little bit as of late, and I'm having fun with it again. I'm actually having fun playing this game, even though I'm nowhere near as good as I used to be. But who cares, right? Um, but it occurred to me that I guess I do want to leave this channel with one thing of use, and I think I'm finally going to make that Manta guide that I said that I would make so many years ago, right? So we're gonna do that, but instead of making it a big long video, I think I'm just going to do it like little smaller videos I'm gonna post about what's good about Manta and like how he works and all that stuff. So I just wanted to make an intro video where I just kind of talk about what's good about this character. Why would you play this character? So consider this. I don't know. I'll call this the Black Manta Guide Part 1, just say it's the introduction and the overview, right? Um, so, what is so great about Manta? Well, Manta, I'm going to say the problem with Manta is that he was very underestimated when he came out because he is not a NRS player's character. NRS players prefer brain dead, like 50-50 mix ups, constant offense, all that kind of shit. And this character is not that. This character is a Street Fighter 4 character in a NRS game. He plays very footsie oriented, kind of passive. He is an aggressive character. And he waits for your opponent to make mistakes, right? That's what this character does. So, because of that, he has great buttons. Like, he has back 1-1, which is obviously good. He has one of the longest reaching jabs in this game. As you can see, not many characters have a jab that goes this far. I think Manta actually has the longest stand one in the game. I could be wrong. So this makes it very easy for him to walk out of the way of something and jab punish it, right? And he has a really good jab string, which we'll go into later. The other thing about Manta is that his damage is solid no matter what kind of hit he gets. If whether it's a stray hit or whatever. Manta's ability to convert and get respectable damage is pretty impressive in this game. Like, I'll just start with like the weakest starters that you can get for his starters, right? So 4-1 teleport. Even if, well, actually, just gonna do super beginner combos, right? I'm not even gonna do optimals because I'm assuming whoever watches this might be trying to learn this character, right? So we're just gonna do right. So he gets respectable damage for that. He gets respectable damage for that. So those are like, that's a baby combo, right? So he's getting 30+% no matter what kind of hit he gets. The other thing that's beneficial to him is that this character is extremely meter efficient, which I'm going to get into later because of his trait. A lot of people did not know what to do with his trait. A lot of people thought that the only thing that his trait was good for was doing this. That's pretty much all people can figure out, right? Well, what his trait is used for is you use it for resets, and you use it for meterless damage opportunities that are pretty sizable. So an example of this is off the infamous back 2-2. This string's really good because it catches people walking back all the time. So that's pretty good damage for no resources spent, right? And you get your Oki anyway. It's also good because, as I say, you get a reset because you get this. For plus 18 there, which basically means you get to do whatever you want. So, this makes his block punishment rather varied because he can choose to cash out for damage, or he can put you in a situation that you might not want to be in by resetting you or whatever. The other thing, obviously, that's good about Manta is that his chip damage is pretty good. You know, it's not Aquaman level. And the chip special is hit confirmable so that you can never drop this, right? Phase action on the, it is random, okay. Like, you can hit confirm this easy. And obviously, in some cases, you want them standing in front of you. Right? Like, this is pretty good, if it works out. That isn't what you'll be doing on hit with this character, but I'm just bringing it up. So, what is it I like about this character? Well, I like the fact he's passive and the fact that he's very good at exposing bad neutral. That is what this character does. There's this myth that this character doesn't play any neutral because he is forward 2 and all that, but this character is all neutral, all footsies. There's literally nothing else this character has. He's one of the most honest characters in the game. But he's so strong at playing fundamentals that he doesn't need anything else. I still believe this character's top 5. He does struggle against a couple of really good characters like Adam or like Starfire, but I still think this character can like win a tournament solo. I think he can compete against every character in this game, but he does require like character specialized knowledge to compete with. That's for sure. This is not a character for people who just want to pick up and play necessarily. Manta's a very knowledge intensive character. So, with that said, the other thing about Manta that's rather unique is he is the only character in the game that makes constant use of the bounce cancel, as in you spend 2 bars to cancel something to a back 3 or 4 3. This is because Manta built so much meter that he always has the 2 bars to spend on this, and there's really no reason not to, right? So, like, let's... I'm gonna do something optimal now, right? So, you do this. You can choose to do that for 1 bar. You too, if someone's gonna fuck this up, of course. Or that, right? You're literally sacrificing like 11% if you don't spend that 2nd bar. There's really no reason not to, because you will almost always have this bar. In the matchups where you won't have this bar, because you're maybe going to focus more on chipping people out, that's fine, of course, because you have this, right? So that's another thing that's unique about this character, is his meter expenditure meta is quite a bit different from most characters. Now, I do think that bounce canceling is an unexplored thing in this game. A lot of people still don't make use of it, despite the fact that there are some characters in this game that net insane damage for bounce canceling, but I don't know why more people don't do it. It's not seen very often. But Manta makes the most use of it for sure. He's probably the character that I would say you have to do it with. So, that's kind of my little introduction video. It was pretty short and sweet in comparison to the kind of videos I usually make, but that's like the character summed up, right? So, I mean, I could talk about some of his good strings, like 1, 2, 3... might be the best jab string in the game, solely because, you know, it has a plus on block stop point, right? This plus 1 on block, so you frame trap in the down 1. 1, 2, 3 is really good as a hit confirm. It's a brain dead hit confirm. His stand 1 has the luxury of allowing him to cash out in clutch situations with unclashable damage. I can't remember Okay, so as you can see, when Clash is active, it does not trigger on the first hit. I want to point this out. This is very important for this character. So Clash cannot be activated on a first hit. So why does this matter? This matters because Manta is the only character in the game that can just stand one bounce cancel. This allows him to punish things where your opponent has Clash and get a damage on like jab punishes that most characters can in the Clash situation. Right. This is very important for this character. So, right, you can get 33, 34% for a jab. For 3 bars, obviously, but still. The fact he can do this is very important. This means that he can... this means that your opponent basically can't do anything in clutch situations that is punishable because you'll just blow them up for it, right? That's really important. No, there's not a lot of characters in this game that can do that. I'm not even sure if anyone else can. I would have to do the research on it. But having a jab that bounce cancels is really good in this game, especially because of how strong Clash is. So there's one thing about this game that's like really crucial. So yeah, that's a big thing. The fact he can do this. So, I mean, yeah. So he has a bounce cancelable single jab, 1-2's plus unblocked, 1-2-3 is not hit confirmable, and then he has somewhat of a mind game 1-2-3-2 or 1-2-3 stop in the backdash, and yeah. Back one is obviously really good with Punisher, and you get a solid chunk of damage every time you hit somebody with it. Even if you don't use the trait, you know, if you just do back one up 3, down back 3, it's pretty good. That's really important. Back 2 is important because it catches people walking back. This is like the best walk back catcher in the game, I think. And stand 3 is important because it's your optimal punish for like big negative moves. So whether it's 1 bar, 2 bars, or whatever, it's really important. And then of course his infamous jump 3 is really important because huge hitbox plus unblock pretty much no matter where you land. He can get cheeky like free chip by doing max range into Manta Ray like this. There's a lot of characters that can't punish this. And then there's Jump 2, which is important for various reasons. It's important because it increases your damage for float stuff. As you can see. So, his Jump 2 is pretty important. It's also really hard to anti-air because of the hitbox it has, right? There's kind of like a MK11, MK Sub-Zero Jump 1 scenario where just like, it's this big hitbox going straight down right in front of him. It's pretty hard to anti-air. So, with that said, that's kind of all you need to know about this character. I mean, there's some other things, like this string had its uses, which will be covered later, but that's my introduction to Manta and kind of going over him briefly. So, I will see you guys in the next installment. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for the very first part of this, but we'll figure it out. If you guys have suggestions on what you think the first part should cover, let me know. But that's my introduction to Black Manta. Thanks for watching if you watched, if you stayed subscribed in the hopes that I upload something. But I felt like leaving this as my lasting legacy instead of, you know, deleting all my videos and having that kind of emo video that's up on the channel right now. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.